Experience. There are seasons in life when people hurt us, betray us, or work against our destiny. It can feel overwhelming, but God is never blind to injustice. The Bible reminds us that He is a righteous judge, and He works on behalf of those who trust Him. Today, we'll explore 7 God is working against those who hurt you. Experience. Showing that His protection and justice are real and active in your life. One of the clearest signs that God is working against those who hurt you is when their plans continually fail. Experience, no matter how well thought out they may seem. You see, life is full of people who will oppose you, people who will scheme against your peace, your progress, and your destiny. Experience, they may appear intelligent, strategic, or even ruthless in their efforts to bring harm, but the truth is, there is a higher power at work that no human can overcome. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 21:30, there is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. That verse is not just a comforting thought. Experience. It is a powerful truth that reveals the absolute authority of God over the affairs of men. When you understand this, experience, you begin to see the patterns of divine intervention in your life. People may try to manipulate circumstances, attack your reputation, or even turn friends against you. Experience. But God's hand is bigger than their schemes, and His protection is unshakable. Many times, those who plot against you may start with what looks like progress. Experience. They may gain influence, accumulate resources, or position themselves to hurt you. On the surface, it may seem as though their plans are working. You may even experience moments of fear, doubt, or frustration because the attacks appear relentless and well coordinated. But this is exactly when God begins to intervene. Experience, often in ways that are subtle at first, but ultimately undeniable. You will notice their strategies begin to falter. Opportunities slip through their fingers. Communications fail. Experience, deals that should have gone through fall apart. Their carefully laid plans collapse in ways that cannot be explained by coincidence. Experience. This is God actively neutralizing the effects of their intentions and demonstrating that no one can succeed against His purposes for your life. It is important to recognize that the failure of their plans is not about your ability to fight back, nor is it about luck. It is about divine orchestration. Experience. God is constantly aware of every plot, every intention, and every harmful thought that is directed toward you. Experience. He does not need to move with violence or sudden retribution to protect you. He often works quietly. Experience, allowing circumstances to shift in such a way that the evil designs fall apart on their own. For instance, someone may try to discredit you in your workplace or community, experience, only to have the truth revealed through their own mistakes or inconsistencies. The people who sought to manipulate situations against you end up undermining themselves. Experience. This is God's justice in action, and it serves as a reminder that when He is on your side, no one can succeed against you. Experience. Another aspect of God working against those who hurt you through the failure of their plans is the timing of these failures. Often, we may not immediately see the result. Experience. We may still feel anxious or uncertain, waiting for relief or for the truth to be fully exposed. But God's timing is perfect. Experience. Even when it seems like their schemes are succeeding, He is positioning events in such a way that their ultimate outcome will bring glory to Him and protection to you. Experience. The person who tries to harm you may temporarily gain a foothold, but eventually their efforts unravel. Opportunities they depend on vanish. Experience. Relationships they try to manipulate crumble. Influence they thought secure is stripped away. You begin to witness a series of small but unmistakable signs that indicate God's hand is at work, overturning their plans one step at a time. Finally, experience. It is essential to see these moments as opportunities for your own growth and faith. When someone sets out to harm you and God begins to thwart their plans, experience. It is not just about protecting you. It is about teaching you to trust Him. It is about strengthening your faith and reminding you that you are not alone in your struggles. Experience. The failures of those who oppose you are a visible, undeniable testimony to God's sovereignty. They demonstrate that no human effort, no matter how cunning or determined, experience can succeed against the will of God. And as their plans continue to fail, you gain confidence, not in your own power, but in His. You learn to rely on His timing, His wisdom, experience, and His justice, knowing that He is always working in your favor, even when the enemy believes they are winning. In conclusion, experience. When the schemes of those who hurt you repeatedly fail, it is a clear sign of God's intervention. Their plans crumble, opportunities disappear, experience, and their efforts to harm you are frustrated at every turn. This is not chance, it is divine protection. The Lord's hand is greater than any human plot. Experience, and His purposes for your life cannot be thwarted by those who mean you harm. Recognize it, trust it, and allow it to strengthen your faith, because God is actively at work. Experience, ensuring that those who oppose you cannot succeed. Their failure is a testament to his power, a display of his justice, and a source of encouragement that he is on your side. Experience, always working for your good. Another powerful sign that God is working against those who hurt you is when they experience unexpected setbacks. Life has a way of testing both the righteous and the unrighteous, but God is never passive when someone intends harm against you. Romans 12:19 tells us, do not take revenge. Experience, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, it is mine to avenge. Experience, I will repay, says the Lord. This verse reminds us that God is not only aware of the injustices done to us, but also fully capable of orchestrating situations that hold wrongdoers accountable. Experience, the setbacks that occur in the lives of those who seek to harm you are rarely coincidental. They are evidence of God's intervention and his desire to protect, vindicate, experience, and uphold his people. When the enemy of your life starts encountering obstacles they did not anticipate, know that God is at work behind the scenes. These setbacks can manifest in many forms. Perhaps the person who tried to discredit you in your workplace suddenly faces a failed project, a lost opportunity, experience, or criticism from someone they respected. Maybe a friend who betrayed you finds themselves isolated or confronted by the consequences of their own actions. Experience. Even the most meticulous schemes often collapse because God is actively intervening. While it may seem random, what appears to be chance is actually divine orchestration. Experience. God ensures that the plans of those who oppose you do not come to full fruition because his power and justice cannot be outmatched by human intent. The enemy may believe they are succeeding, but God has already set in motion a chain of events that will frustrate their objectives and ultimately preserve your life and legacy. Experience. What is remarkable about these setbacks is the way they often come unexpectedly. Those who plot harm rarely see them coming, and they are unprepared to navigate these challenges. Experience. Their confidence begins to waver, their momentum slows, and frustration mounts. Proverbs 16:9 says, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. This is precisely what is happening. They may meticulously plan, experience, but the steps of the wicked are directed by the Lord in a way that ensures their schemes falter. It may be a sudden financial setback, an unforeseen conflict, experience, a betrayal by an ally, or an unexpected revelation that undoes their influence. In each instance, God demonstrates that no human effort, no matter how cunning, experience can succeed against his will. These setbacks also serve as a warning to the one who intends harm. Experience, they are reminders that God is watching and that he will not allow injustice to go unaddressed. Often the person trying to bring you down experiences frustration, confusion, experience, and even humiliation. The Lord's intervention is not just protective, it is corrective. Experience, it teaches the one who seeks evil that there are consequences for attempting to harm others. Meanwhile, experience, you are spared the weight of having to retaliate or take justice into your own hands. You can remain faithful, calm, and confident. Experience, knowing that God is managing the situation with perfect wisdom and timing. Additionally, these divine interventions build your faith. Experience, when you witness those who plotted against you facing obstacles, it reinforces the truth that God is actively involved in your life. Experience, you begin to see his hand in ways that words alone cannot describe. You realize that you do not have to manipulate circumstances, confront people aggressively, experience, or expend your energy trying to fix what God is already working on. Instead, you can rest in his sovereignty and trust that he is orchestrating every detail. Experience. This not only protects your peace, but also strengthens your character, teaching you patience, perseverance, and trust in the Lord's timing. Finally, experience. The setbacks of those who hurt you serve as a testimony to others. People around you can see the unfolding of God's justice. Experience. What may have looked like the advantage of the wicked turns into a demonstration of his power, wisdom, and protection. Experience. The failure of their schemes not only affirms God's commitment to justice, but also encourages others to trust in him when they face opposition. Experience. Your life becomes a living example that God is active, faithful, and capable of protecting his own. In conclusion, experience, when the person who seeks to harm you begins experiencing unexpected setbacks, it is a clear sign that God is at work on your behalf. Their plans unravel, obstacles arise, experience, and their confidence falters, all orchestrated by a sovereign God who watches over his children. These setbacks are not accidents. Experience, they are intentional acts of divine intervention designed to protect you. Teach the one who plotted evil, strengthen your faith, and demonstrate God's justice to the world. In these moments, you do not need to take revenge or worry about the outcome. God is in control and his timing and wisdom are perfect. Trust him. Remain faithful. Experience and watch as he turns the obstacles of the wicked into opportunities for your victory. Another unmistakable sign that God is working against those who hurt you is when your peace remains intact. Experience even in the midst of attacks and adversity. It is easy to be rattled when people plot against you, betray your trust, or attempt to sabotage your life. Fear, anger, experience, and anxiety can easily take hold if you rely solely on your own strength. But the Bible assures us in Philippians 4:77, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, experience, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This is not just a promise, it is a reality for those who place their trust in God. Experience. When the plans of the enemy are in motion, yet you experience an unshakable calm in your heart, it is a clear indicator that God himself is actively protecting you. Experience. While others are consumed with chaos, confusion, and panic, his peace serves as both a shield and a confirmation that he is working on your behalf. Experience. Peace in the midst of opposition is not accidental. It is a supernatural gift from God, one that cannot be manufactured by human effort or explained by circumstances. Experience. The enemy may try to stir fear in your heart through lies, manipulation, or intimidation, but God's peace will rise above every attempt to disturb it. Experience. You may notice it in small ways, a quiet assurance in decision-making, clarity of mind when confusion surrounds you, experience, or the ability to sleep and rest when others are restless and anxious. These moments are God's fingerprints, experience, evidence that he is actively turning away the attacks meant to derail your life. Experience. This piece is proof that he is not only aware of the schemes against you, but is orchestrating events so that you remain secure and protected. Experience. Another aspect of this divine peace is the strength it provides to respond with wisdom rather than emotion. Often those who intend harm provoke us to react impulsively, experience, out of anger or frustration. But when God gives you his peace, it allows you to rise above the situation. Instead of responding in retaliation, experience, you are able to make decisions that are guided by discernment and righteousness. Proverbs 15:1 reminds us, a gentle answer turns away wrath. Experience, but a harsh word stirs up anger. God's peace equips you to respond in a way that preserves your integrity and ensures that you are not entangled in the snares of those who would harm you. Experience. While they are caught in their own schemes and consumed by their plots, you move forward with clarity and composure, demonstrating that divine intervention is at work in your life. Experience. This peace also protects your heart from the corrosive effects of bitterness and resentment. When someone tries to hurt you, it is natural to feel anger or frustration. Experience. Yet holding on to these emotions can disrupt your spiritual, emotional, and even physical well-being. God's peace acts as a guard. Experience. Keeping your heart free from the destructive influence of hatred or revenge. It allows you to maintain focus on your purpose, on the people you love. Experience, and on the mission he has placed before you. You begin to realize that his intervention is not just about thwarting the plans of those who mean you harm. Experience. It is also about preserving your heart and your future for the blessings that lie ahead. Furthermore, this peace becomes a testimony to others. Experience. When people see you walking in calm assurance while chaos swirls around the one who sought to harm you, it is a powerful witness to the reality of God's presence. Experience. Your composure and confidence highlight the futility of the enemy's schemes and demonstrate that God is in control. Experience. The contrast between their anxiety and your unshakable peace provides undeniable evidence that a higher power is protecting you and that his justice is at work. Experience. This testimony not only strengthens your faith, but encourages others to trust God in their own battles. Experience, knowing that he is able to guard hearts and minds even in the face of adversity. Finally, it is important to understand that maintaining peace is not passive. It requires trust, experience, patience, and reliance on God's promises. You must intentionally place your confidence in him, refusing to be distracted by the noise of those who intend harm. Experience. This peace is both a sign and a weapon. It is a confirmation that God is actively working on your behalf and a tool that keeps you anchored while the plans of the enemy fail. You can rest assured that while they may plot, scheme, and attempt to create chaos, experience God's presence in your life ensures that their efforts cannot succeed and that your future remains secure. In conclusion, experience when your peace remains intact despite attacks or betrayal, it is a clear sign that God is working against those who hurt you. This peace transcends understanding. Experience guards your heart, equips you to respond with wisdom, protects you from bitterness, and serves as a powerful testimony to the world. Experience. It is both a shield and a confirmation of God's intervention. When you walk in this supernatural calm, Experience. You can trust that he is actively orchestrating the downfall of those who oppose you while simultaneously strengthening and preserving you for the plans and purposes he has for your life. Another undeniable sign that God is working against those who hurt you is when the true nature of their character is revealed. Experience. People who set out to harm others often hide behind masks of charm, respectability, or deceit, but God has a way of exposing what is hidden in darkness. Proverbs 16:7 reminds us, experience. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. This verse points to the contrast between the righteous, experience, who are under God's protection, and those who oppose them, whose true intentions will eventually be uncovered. When someone tries to hurt you, experience, their actions may initially appear calculated, subtle, or even successful. Yet over time, the schemes of the wicked often unravel and their true character comes to light. Experience. This exposure is not merely coincidence, it is the deliberate work of God. He allows the world to see the reality of those who intend harm. Experience, while safeguarding your reputation and integrity. The revealing of a person's true nature can manifest in various ways. Sometimes the individual becomes careless, experience, overconfident in their schemes, or inconsistent in their actions. Their lies begin to contradict each other. Their manipulations are exposed, experience, and their hidden motives are laid bare for others to see. Relationships they used to advance their agenda may crumble because people start recognizing their duplicity. Experience. This exposure's method of ensuring that those who oppose you cannot operate indefinitely under a guise of respectability. While they intended harm, their own flaws, pride, experience, and deceit are now visible to the very people they sought to influence. God's justice is precise. He allows their mask to slip, revealing what they truly are. Experience, while protecting your reputation and positioning you for vindication. Another critical aspect of this revelation is the timing. God does not always expose people immediately. Experience, and his timing is perfect. If he revealed their intentions too soon, you might act prematurely or rely on your own strength rather than his. By allowing a period of observation, experience, God ensures that his justice is unmistakable and undeniable when it occurs. When their true nature comes to light, it is often in a way that is public and significant. Experience, so that others witness the contrast between your integrity and their deceit. This is not for pride or retaliation. Experience, it is a demonstration of God's sovereignty and a reminder that he is always aware of who we are and what we face. Experience, the exposure of the enemy's true character also serves to protect others. Sometimes, experience, those who plot harm do so not only to affect you, but also to influence or manipulate people around you. When God exposes their intentions and character, experience, he not only shields you, but also safeguards the wider community from being deceived or harmed. This is why the Bible repeatedly emphasizes that God is a God of justice. He sees, he knows, and he acts to protect his people. Their exposure often prevents further harm, demonstrates the consequences of wrongdoing. Experience, and underscores the principle that evil cannot remain hidden forever under God's watchful eye. Furthermore, experience, the revelation of character builds your faith and strengthens your trust in God. When the person who sought to hurt you begins to reveal their true nature, experience, it confirms that God is actively working on your behalf. You see his justice in action, his protection at work, and his power over those who intend evil. Experience, it reinforces the lesson that you do not need to fight every battle on your own, nor do you need to stoop to the level of those who plot against you. Experience, God's intervention allows you to remain above the fray, confident that his purposes for your life cannot be thwarted. This awareness cultivates patience, discernment, and wisdom. Experience, helping you navigate relationships and conflicts with clarity and grace. Finally, the exposure of the one who seeks to harm you serves as a powerful testimony to the world. Experience, it demonstrates that God is not passive in the face of evil, that he watches over his children, and that his justice is real. Experience, when others witness the contrast between your integrity and the revealed deceit of those who opposed you. Experience, it strengthens their faith and encourages them to trust in God's sovereignty. The enemy's true nature is unveiled, their influence diminishes. Experience, and your life becomes a testimony of God's protection, justice, and power. The revelation is not for your vengeance, but for God's glory. Experience, showing that he is in control even when the enemy believes they are winning. In conclusion, when the true character of those who attempt to harm you is revealed, experience, it is a clear sign that God is working against them. Their deceit, pride, and hidden motives come to light, their influence diminishes, and their plans fail. Experience, God uses these moments to protect you, preserve your reputation, teach patience and trust, and demonstrate his justice to the world. By allowing their true nature to be seen, Experience, God ensures that his protection is evident, his purposes prevail, and his glory is revealed. When you witness this unfolding, you can stand confident, experience, knowing that the Lord is actively working for your good and that those who oppose you cannot succeed against his will.